Yep.
Hi, this is Rachael Matthew, one of my oldest friend and one of the very first Secret Rendezvous people. Yeah, DJ, artist, knitting queen, and everything. Rachel, say hello to Taiwan.
Hello Taiwan! Nice to meet you.
Okay, do you want to tell us about what you do and about your work?
Yes, I am a knitting artist, and I started knitting, making clothes. I went to art school and did a textile degree, but then I started knitting as a performance, and I organised a knitting club which used to meet in nightclubs and parties, and that's when I met Mei-Hui, and she started making the parties that we all came to.
Yeah.
So loads of people gathered around to knit together, but at that time it was very unusual for people to knit in public, wasn't it? Everybody was embarrassed about knitting. So it was great that people could go out and make their clothes while they were partying.
Especially young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good, interesting theme that time. When did you move to East London?
I moved to East London in 1996.
All right. Why did you choose East?
I read in an article in a newspaper that artists were moving to East London, but I think it might have taken me about 3 years before I found you.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
And all this year, you still think East London's still very inspiring?
Yes, always, continuously. It changes all the time, but it's lovely now having a shop because different people come in and out of the shop and ask different questions, have different reasons for making. It's nice.
But how do you feel the whole, how East London inspired your work the last 15 years?
Community, because I come from the countryside where there was no one else was interested in fashion, and there weren't many other young people growing up. So when I was growing up, I always used to think that I'd come to London and everyone would be like me and everyone would be knitting. But when I arrived here, no one was doing that, so I had to make it happen.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's continually happens. Like if you present an idea in East London, then people will pick up on it and they will get involved. And that still happens now.
But do you see the whole East London change? Like, how it changed, and do you think in a good way or in a bad way?
A bit of both. Some of my friends who are artists can't afford to live here anymore, and they have to move out. Yeah. At the same time, more successful people come here and or have stayed here, and then also you get people that have jobs with money and they want to learn a craft in their spare time. So good and bad.
It was good that because what you do, you had a fashion background, but you went straight away to concentrate knitting, make knitting into art, actually turn into art rather than to go from fashion. And I think you did a really good choice to do that, because if you do for fashion you will struggle, but if you do it as art, it's a long term, and it will grow bigger and internationally, and more established for what you do as well. You want to say something about your philosophy of your knitting?
Yeah, I was thinking when you were saying that, it was a bit like meeting you at that time was very important, because I'd been through St Martin's College, and I think I had decided that I didn't want to be pigeonholed and put in a box. I didn't want anybody to say, you do this. And when I met you and everything we were doing, we didn't have any rules, did we? We could just do whatever we wanted. So you could make things and do it as a performance and sell it through fashion or be art or all of that. And I
party or do something as events rather than you just do you stuck as your fashion knitwear.
And it was less lonely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Fantastic.
So but I've stuck with that. I've not been pigeonholed since then.
Tell us about your recent project in America.
Yes, so I've just been to America. I was in an exhibition called Women to Watch, and there was lots of people from around the world that had to represent different countries, and it was all to do with textiles. And I've been knitting relics. So I wanted to knit things that might look like they were dug up out of the ground, but made out of stone, like fossils.
Yeah, like this.
Like bits of that. So loads of bits of that went to America, and I'd sort of done a painting in knitting of a landscape. It was a window and it had curtains and a landscape through it. Did that. And then there was pieces of the completely knitted wedding, which we did in 2004, which was everything. It was a real wedding and everything was knitted, all the food and the cameras and the flowers and everything.
Wow, amazing. I like to see them. When are they coming back?
January.
Oh, so hopefully we can bring this exhibition to Taiwan or Asia sometime soon.
That
yeah?
would be good.
Okay. Bye Taiwan!
Bye Taiwan!
Okay. Thank you.